Following the complaints raised by the patients, the Minister of Health, in a circular to newsrooms, urged hospitals to continue providing essential services, including dialysis, cancer treatment, and maternity care. Elsewhere, Laikipia Governor Joshua Irungu has said that plans were underway to educate the public on the new insurance system to ensure understanding and enrollment.
Tumesema ya kwamba ikiwa wewe ile services mlikuwa mnaendelea naye hapa ada NHIF kwamba hakuna kutoa pesa, kwa hivyo mnakuja hapa na services ile huduma mlikuwa mnapata itaendelea na hata hapa.
Meanwhile, all NHIF members have been transferred to the Social Health Authority with a text message on Wednesday asking them to update their details. This move sparked outrage online, with many Kenyans accusing the government of violating data privacy by making the transfer without consent. Busara Naman, K24 TV.
Thank you very much, Busara Naman. Now, Busia Senator Okia Omtata, together with the Gen Z youth, have announced plans to spearhead a nationwide campaign encouraging Kenyans to reject the proposal to have ID numbers with an expiry date, saying it is a way to suppress voters in the next general election. As Branamwai now reports, Gen Z now say the campaign seeks to have young people involved in the process of changing the nation by taking IDs that they will use to register as voters and change the governance of this country.
The desire to change the nation's governance is still on, with Gen Z vowing to start a campaign to convince Kenyans to take part in the ID registration drive, which will then allow them to register as voters in 2027.
We are going to launch a campaign nationwide to mobilize the registration of IDs, and where there will be bottlenecks, we shall try to deal with those bottlenecks to find out why in this particular region people are not registering to get IDs. So that one is going to be done.
That if you are born today and you are going to live for 80 years, I want you to divide 80 years by 3, and you will have 26 times. So you will be going to the National Registration Bureau to register for your ID 26 times, and each time you'll pay 1,000 bob. This is insanity, and we are going to fight it. We were about to mobilize our young people to pick up our IDs because we want young people to vote in 2027 and to vote out a rogue regime.
Addressing journalists on Wednesday, they opposed the government's proposal to have IDs that expire after a certain period. They emphasized that the next government will be formed by the youth, putting on notice politicians currently in office who they say have overstayed their welcome, and that this is a new beginning for the nation.
Young people are coming together. Young people have come together. Young people know what they want, and they know where they are going. If some of you are under the illusion that there will be a second, third force coming from some old politicians, the message to take home from this table is we are draining.
Can sort out this country. We don't need to request William Samoei Ruto to roll out a national healthcare program. He is incapable. We don't want to ask William Samoei Ruto to stop extrajudicial killings. That is his hobby. He thinks about it every day. So the only thing is that the Kenyan people should rally around the National Coordination Committee of People's Assembly to form an alternative government that can hold President William Samoei Ruto and his gangs accountable once they are out of power.
Omtata also weighed in on corruption, saying soon they will start a campaign that will fight graft both at the national and county level by going for individuals who have benefited from proceeds of graft.
So we are going to launch a movement targeting this runaway theft of public resources. We are going to stop the steal. We are going to have a hashtag called Stop the Steal. And we are going to stop the steal right from the counties to the national government. We want to go after these thieves. It's no longer the war on corruption. We are launching a war on the corrupt.
As the nation continues to find its footing on the recently launched Social Health Insurance Fund, the first-time senator and his brigade have condemned Kenya's high taxation rates, indicating that certain government actors are using levies to steal from tax-paying citizens, threatening to rally Kenyans not to pay.
Can't pay, won't pay. And we are just at the tipping point whereby we can't pay taxes and therefore we won't pay. Because if you look at what I've put is 2.7% on pay slips, it's tipping over.
So I want to specifically talk about the issue of this SHIF scandal that is about to blow. We need to understand very clearly, because now they've forcefully migrated us. I did not migrate. That is the message that I just received from my phone. And I got that prompt to talk about the Kenyans. We have to rally and hold this government accountable.
Brian Amuai, K24.
Two money matters, and the government lost approximately 344 billion in the financial year 24-25 due to the August youth protests in Kenya, disrupting the economy. Now, Treasury CS John Mbadi, appearing before the Senate, blamed the previous administration for inadequate public participation before the finance bill was tabled. Senators also raised concerns about the state of corporations and county governments, such as the Teachers Service Commission, failing to remit pension payments. Additionally, the e-Citizen platform was criticized for payment processing failures. Mbadi suggested creating a centralized payment system to avoid further disruptions. Linda Koskei now reports.
Thousands of workers at cash-strapped parastatals risk retiring empty-handed after their employers failed to remit monthly deductions to pension schemes.
A lot of money was deducted and not remitted. And this is part of people's salary. Even monies that go to others for other statutory deductions. KRA.
National Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi, while appearing before the Senate, issued a warning to entities that have neglected their remittance responsibilities.
Who are mandated with the responsibility of ensuring that these pensions are paid.
Let's face it, if you have too much interface between officers and systems, you have a problem. Because a lot of these delays are just rent-seeking strategies, which must be eliminated. And that is why we are trying to reduce the human interface with the system and have a system that is integrated, where we will we will have a seamless transfer from human resource service to the pension system.
Mbadi stated that this issue can only be resolved by creating an integrated system where all payments are centralized. He recommends that the government allows the nationalization of salary payment.
But if these agencies cannot remit the statutory deduction, then the best thing to do, Mr. Speaker, is to allow the national government to nationalize or centralize payment of salaries, and then retain the money and pay to where it should go, and we only remit the funds that are not to the bank.
The Teacher Service Commission (TSC) and the county governments were mentioned as the main culprits for failing to submit pension payments, indicating a disconnect between government departments.
Failure by those who are deducting, whether it is ministries, departments, agencies, or county governments. And I think the biggest culprit as at now has been the county government. Even the defunct local authorities. A lot of money was deducted and not remitted. And
Senators queried the status of e-Citizen platform and the payment portal amid controversy over its ownership and the government's control over the system.
Does the government have control of this e-Citizen platform? The Cabinet Secretary has also alluded to the fact that the 50 shilling is paid to, and I believe it is paid to the creator of e-Citizen. I think his name is James Ayugi, who is the CEO of Webmaster.
Could the Cabinet Secretary report on the safety, efficiency, efficacy and reliability of the e-Citizen digital payment platform in light of the numerous complaints of delays and technical issues that followed the onboarding of significant number of government services?
Meanwhile, questions regarding the stability of the government were directed to Mbadi.
The total revenue collection, including ministerial appropriation in aid, for the period ending August 2024, that is for the 2 months, was 373.5 billion, which is 2.3% of GDP, against a target of 403.1 billion, recording a shortfall of 29.6 billion as shown in the table which I provided, and I'll not read the table because it's a long one.
While assuring that Kenya's inflation has decreased slightly below 5%, he acknowledged that the country lost a substantial amount of money during the Gen Z protests.
The demonstrations led to the withdrawal of Finance Bill 2024, resulting in a revenue loss and therefore a financing gap of approximately 344.3 billion in the financial year 24-25.
Linda Koskei, K24 TV.
Now on that note, we just take our second breather. See you on the other side of this break.
Back to the future. The future is simulate. Bet smarter. Win faster now. Be a winner. Mozart Bet.
Can we understand an unspoken language?